I know. That is what God is saying to you today. I'm going to try to make this short. Listen, it's not about you. It's not about what you know. It's not about anybody else. It's not about what they know. It's not even about the devil. It's not about what he think he knows. It's only about what God knows. God says, "What I know the thoughts that I think towards you. They are of peace and not of evil, to prosper you and to give you and what expected end." Now, God said when he forgives you, listen carefully, he said he tossed that sin into the sea of forgiveness to remember it no more. So when the devil tries to bring you a thought, or anybody tries to bring you a thought or an imagination, or try to bring some drama up to you about what happened way back when ago, or what you used to do, or what was bad, or what was wrong, or of that particular sin, of anything else, listen, you already know off the bat that ain't from God, because that thing ain't giving you no peace of mind. It's trying to make you attach yourself, your identity back with that old thing. And God said he ain't gonna remember it. God said, I ain't gonna throw it back in your face. God said he know you did this and that, but when he tosses it into the sea of forgiveness, it's forgotten. He ain't gonna bring it back in your thoughts. God ain't gonna bring it into imagination in you. God is not gonna remind you of what you used to do. That's the enemy, called the accuser. The only time somebody brings something back up about what you did that hurt you or hurt somebody else is somebody accusing. They want you to identify with hurt and pain, and that is not peace. God said he knows the thoughts he thinks towards you. They are of peace and not of evil. God has come to prosper you and to give you an expected end. So therefore, it's not about what you know. So you might as well forgive yourself, because God has forgiven you and forgot about it. So you got to work on you, because some of y'all are struggling with forgiving yourself. You've done some things in the past. You did some things in the past and God forgave you, but you are struggling to forgive yourself. God said there is nothing that he will not forgive. He will forgive you. He said all you got to do is have a broken heart and a contrite spirit. That means you got to come to him lowly and humble. And God said he heard you the first time. And he said he knows the thoughts that he thinks towards you. He heard you the first time when you asked for forgiveness, and he forgave you right off the bat because you humbled yourself, and he healed your land. Isn't that his word? He said, if my people, he created us all, which means we all are his people. He said, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray, seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, he said, I'll hear from them. Forgive them of their sin, which means he ain't forgot about it. And he'll heal your land. God said you're healed already. Do not let anything, anyone, the devil, nobody, no nothing, not even yourself, make you believe a lie. God said it's about what he knows. He said you shall live and not die. That's the knowing that he knows about you. He said he knows that you shall live and not die. Why? Because he said he came to give you life and that more abundantly. So no matter what the doctor's reports say, God said, well, you shall live and not die. He said by his stripes you are already healed. Oh, you listen to me. God said what? Poverty don't belong to you. Why? Because he said he will supply all of your needs according to his riches and glory. In who? In Christ Jesus. Who is Christ Jesus? Jesus is the word. God's word said that he gave you power to obtain wealth, right? Exactly. He said you ain't going to lack no good thing. He ain't going to withhold any good thing from you, from those who are upright. So you know you upright. You've asked for forgiveness. So God ain't holding nothing back good from you. God is going to pour, he's going to pour it out upon you. His blessings are going to overflow you. It's going to be poured out, overflowing on you. That's in Deuteronomy 28. God said, when you hearken to his voice and keep his commandments, do what he asked you to do, keep his law. He said, well, his blessings shall come upon you and overtake you. That's an overflow. So what is poverty coming in at? That ain't of God. That is not a thought of God. God said, you are indeed his son, his daughter, because you chose not to touch the unclean thing. You turned from the wicked ways. And God said, well, now you have the right to the inheritance of the kingdom. Which means what? What's in the kingdom? Prosperity. What's in the kingdom? Healing. What's in the kingdom? A happy life, right? God said he will satisfy you with long life when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So why in the world you think you're going to die at an early, young age because your parents died? Because your daddy died of a heart attack and when he was young, or your mama died of breast cancer because she was young. God said, don't you attach yourself to generational curses. Don't you attach yourself to anybody else's sin. Because the enemy will do that. God will forgive you of your sin, and the enemy knows that you saying, okay, that don't apply to me anymore because God has forgiven me. So what the enemy do, he won't try to address you or try to attack you with sin that you used to do. He'll bring somebody else's sin to you. He will. He'll bring somebody else's sin to you, which means what? He'll allow you to see somebody else's sin and see how you will react or respond to it, and to see if you attach yourself to it. And if you will react and respond the way he wants you to react, then he said, I got him. I got him. So now he'll hold you to that thing. And God said, you ain't got to be bound by nobody else's curse, by nobody else's sin. You're not responsible for nobody but you, okay? God said, get your soul together. Work out your own salvation, right? Do you first boo with God. Relationship boo up with God first. And then you'll be able to go on and be a helper to others. But right now, stay clear. Stay clear. Stay clear of those thoughts that the enemy trying to bring to you that are not of peace. Because that's why some of y'all can't sleep at night. You call that, oh, I have insomnia. No, you don't. You have the wrong thoughts. God said only the wicked can't sleep. There's no rest for the wicked, but the upright sleeps like a baby. God said there is rest for us. So if you ain't getting no sleep at night, that's the thoughts of the enemy. You are entertaining the wrong thoughts. You don't know what God knows yet. You don't know it yet. God already know it. God said catch up. Catch up. Catch up to what he knows about you. And when you know that God is your protector, when you know that no weapon formed against you shall prosper, when you know that you are already healed, when you know that God will supply all your needs, when you know that God will extend your life, when you know that God got your marriage on point, when you know that God is protecting your family, when you know that God has released angels to encamp all around you, when you know that God is your habitation, that no plague will come nigh your dwelling, when you know that no evil shall befall you, when you know that you fear God, and he said that you will indeed be satisfied, and that no evil shall visit you, when you know what God knows about you, I'm telling you, you will walk in peace. You will be the poster child for peace. That's a man, I ain't never seen nobody that peaceful. I'll never hear them complaining. They always look refreshed. Why? Because they can sleep. Why? Because they ain't got nothing to worry about. Why? Because they are a child of God. And that means what? They are relying on their Father. That's why God said, trust in me with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding, but in all of your ways, acknowledge me and I'll direct your path. God said you ain't supposed to be trying to do nothing because he got you. He got you. So why are you trying to figure it out? Why are you trying to work it out? I'll tell you why. Because you're trying to go off of what you know. And you're trying to go off the knowing of what your physical eyes have showed you. You're trying to go off the knowing of what your physical ears have allowed you to hear. You're trying to go off the knowing of what your flesh is trying to get you to feel. You're also trying to go off the knowing of what people are talking to you about. And you're going off the knowing of the thoughts of the enemy. That is why you ain't getting no rest. That is why you have not seen any change. That is why you are in shambles right now. It's because you're trying to take care of yourself. And God said, you're his child. Have you ever seen a child trying to take care of themselves? You go, where are their parents? That child look hungry. God said, he's the one that gives you bread. He said, man should not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from his mouth. What is coming from his mouth? His word. What he knows about you. So stop trying to take care of yourself. You're not abandoned. God said he'll never leave you. Never will he forsake you. He's going to be with you. He's going to go before you. He is unfailing and he will not forsake you. That's what he said. He said, listen, ain't no need for you to be discouraged. He said, be encouraged. Don't be dismayed. Be cheerful. Why? He said, because he's going to be with you wherever you go. You never walk alone. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I won't fear. Why? Because God right here with me. And when God here with me, who going to come against me? That's why God said, greater is he that is within you, within me, than he that is in the world. Right? God says what? If he be for us, then who can be against us? That's why God said he will contend with those that contend with us. God said he's our defender and our avenger. He said vengeance is his. Right? He said he will devour the enemy. It ain't your battle. It ain't mine. It's his. It's about what he knows. And what he knows about you and what he knows about me is that we have the victory. That we are more than conquerors. I'm almost at 10 minutes. If you ain't got what I'm saying by now, that it ain't about you, but it's all about God, what he knows. Because he said, I know. He said, I know. I know the thoughts. So God said, if you can just trust in what he knows, you're going to be all right. If you could just trust in what he knows, then you will win. If you could just trust in what he knows, then you will be more than what you could have ever imagined. That's why God said he will do exceedingly and abundantly above all you could ever ask or think. Why? Because it's all about what he knows about you. He already got that thing mapped out. That's why he said everything, and I'm going to close with this, everything works together for the good of those that love him. If you didn't get this thing, rewind and watch again. But in the meantime, in between time, if you take just a little bit of what I'm telling you and apply to your life to the best of your ability, you won't ever have to mask a smile. Why? Because your smiles will always be genuine. Be blessed, stay blessed, be blessed, stay blessed, be blessed, stay blessed. And remember, it ain't about you and nobody else and not even the devil. It's only about God and what he knows. Y'all be blessed.